Here's Johnny!
What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. As always, it's Pigusama, and I'm joined once again by my friend the Big Chilltown.
No introduction.
And we are doing Loki Episode 3 review. So, once again, we're just going to run through the plot real quick, and then just give some predictions for the future of the show, our overall thoughts on it. So, without further ado, we enter on female Loki and C20 in a diner. And Femme Loki, it seems like they're in the real world, but truthfully, Femme Loki is trying to place a deception on C20 and get the location of the timekeepers. She does end up getting the location of the timekeepers. There's some time dilation scenes where she's like rewinding time and stuff. It's alright. Apparently, she's looking for specifically the golden elevators, which is where you get to the timekeepers from. And from here, we cut to the title scene. You got anything really to say on the beginning scene? It was not really anything special.
Yeah, there's nothing to it, and it does... waste. A waste.
Yeah,
Waste.
I don't really feel if it was necessary. We already know the stuff, but I guess it was supposed to be a punchy intro. This whole episode actually was kind of like very exposition heavy. Not much happens in it outside of plot and lore building.
Yeah, there's a grand total of 30 seconds of action scene, and in all of these action scenes, there are no real stakes. Like, they fight over nothing, and then they're in the middle of a fight while they run. And those are the two things that happen. And it's just like, come on, use your gimmick, you guys.
Yeah.
If you're not going to use your gimmick, it's just a gimmick. It's not a theme. It's just a gimmick, you know?
I'm not sure what you mean by use the gimmick. The whole thing, okay, so what happens is that evil Loki and Loki escape the TVA, and they're hiding in an apocalypse. So they're purposely trying not to use their powers to not get caught.
Yeah.
There's no opportunity for any time dilation stuff to happen.
No, I know, but the gimmick here is now the two Lokis meet, right? So you would want every scene to be based on that. But sure it is, but every scene is also exposition, and therefore you jump over most of the... It's just the whole movie, the whole episode is just her explaining who she is.
I think you're getting your... Well, yes, it is a boring episode, but I also think you're getting your expectations subverted. Because now they're friends. You thought Loki and Loki would do battle, but they're not going to do battle.
Yeah.
They're friends. The whole point is that they have
That's another
similar
thing.
interests. So evil Loki...
Yeah, keep going.
When they leave, pretty much they have all their conversations. Loki specifically asks, "Are you a Loki?" To which Femme Loki responds that she doesn't like to be called that. She also does this variant later. I guess it's kind of supposed to leave it unclear if she's actually a Loki or something else. She calls herself Sylvie the Enchantress now, but she could possibly just be a Loki. They're trying to keep it up in the air. But for me, it's considerably stupider if it is a Loki.
I would agree. If it is a Loki and they let her get this far to become this bad before this happened, you know, then it's shit. If she is Loki, it's crap. It just is. It just is if that's the case.
Yeah. We also find out that she's been using a device to actually travel through time, because when they get to this apocalypse called Lamentis 1 in 2077, their device runs out of power.
Yeah.
And they're in an irrevocable apocalypse, essentially. The moon is going to hit the planet and destroy everything. Also, funnily enough, this planet, 2077, deep reaches of space, completely populated by humans as well.
All humans.
More humans, would you guess it? Just humans everywhere.
It's 2077 in the far reaches of space where these people have like giant monorail systems and a fully terraformed planet and big spaceships that they're gonna save the whole fucking civilization.
And don't even tell me they're an outpost, because then why wouldn't the humans be coming to save them? No, they're not an outpost. They just aliens out there that happen to also be a human.
They're just... Humans are everywhere. Everywhere you go, there are bubbles in water. And everywhere you go, there are humans on planets, I guess.
Yeah.
Fuck. You know, it's so stupid.
So there's all that. They actually stumble across a random human in a space trailer, in the middle of the fucking desert. This episode, it's like they didn't want to take the time to animate a real city. Or this is actually a perfect coup filming example. I'll explain why later, because in the beginning, they're walking through the desert, they meet a lady in a space trailer, they go to a space port that has barely any people on it, also in the middle of a desert, all filmed on green screen.
Yeah, it's extremely Doctor Who It's extremely Doctor Who, because it's like, we don't have the money, to do this. We have to make one every week. We'll go out into the back lot where we always go. We'll move around some dirt and some shit, and then we'll throw up a set piece, and then we'll set a scene there, and we'll move past it. And they do that over and over again. The set piece, the mine tunnel at the beginning, then the fucking trailer, then they're inside of the city for all of like 3 minutes before they realize they gotta leave and go to stand in line. When standing in line,
you're skipping ahead though right now.
Yeah,
because I want to do a little aside. Fem Loki has a line about how she's mad at Loki for ruining a plan that was years in the making. And just any time in this show when they refer to the concept of time passing, it just kind of makes me laugh.
What the hell does that mean?
Well, it means it's passing personally to her, but
also
I don't know. I guess she doesn't live in a timeless place. I'm really not sure what the rules of Fem Loki's time are, because the TVA people are timeless, essentially.
Hey.
If you're in TVA, you're in a place beyond time.
And I just want to point out, as Guardians live to be about 12,000 years old anyway. Oh, it's years in the making? Oh, dude, start over. Shut the fuck up. How many years? What are you talking about? It's years in the making. Centuries. If she'd have said centuries in the making, I would have been like, okay, cool. This is a tough thing. You fucked up a full portion of, yeah. But years?
So as they're walking, Sylvie and Loki have a discussion about what love is.
Oh, yeah.
And Sylvie says that love is mischief.
I don't know.
But Loki...
I don't know where the love thing came about. Okay, so they're talking about...
Sylvie and Loki are talking about the concept of love because they're both obviously physically attracted to each other, because the person Loki's most attracted to is himself.
I mean, yeah.
That's where that comes from. So naturally, if Loki meets a female version of himself, he's going to want to bang. So they start talking about love, and Sylvie's opinion is that love is mischief, while Loki can't actually answer the question because Loki has not had love yet. So, that I guess the point of this episode, I guess, is to either answer that question or introduce the question to him so he can answer it probably next episode, though he does give a pathetic attempt at an answer later on in the episode. Once we get on the train.
Oh my god.
They end up getting in the train station, and they get on the train, and no one really questions how they get on the train. Sylvie enchants them, or was it Loki who enchants them?
No, Loki doesn't know how to enchant.
Yeah, Loki doesn't actually know how to enchant without the cube. Sylvie knows how to enchant without the cube. She taught herself.
Yeah, Sylvie she has the ability to do this thing that he, with all of his training from however because he's got a million skills.
Well,
he's got a million skills.
I think the implication is just that she's older.
Oh, I don't know.
She's been outside of time longer, I guess, is the only one real plausible way you could explain that.
Well,
she's just had more time.
Surely by the point that they interact with her, right, which would have been in the same lifespan of Loki, right? Surely by the point they interact with her, she has the ability to enchant. Otherwise, she would not have gotten away from them. Because Loki did not have the ability to enchant, yet he had all these other abilities, and she does not have them
I don't think
yet.
we can make any assumptions.
I feel like they must exist in the same timeline. Therefore, the two of them could only be picked up.
Yes, they definitively exist in the same timeline, but once she leaves,
or at the same
time,
length of
once
time.
she leaves the timeline, it all is up in the air.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So like she's entered into a place where time
it doesn't matter anymore. It doesn't matter anymore. Time does not matter anymore. You should not try to attach yourself to a sense of chronology in this show.
All right.
The only chronology that matters is the sequence of events that happens to the characters contained within. Because in the 5th episode and 6th episode, the multiverse and the timelines will probably start breaking down. Okay. And then at that point, it will be a matter of what Marvel decides
it just
is the lore that actually happened.
That idea of in real time.
They're trying to tell you not to be the timekeeper. Don't try to be a timekeeper trying to make assumptions about where this thing started or how this person, because in the end, it really does not matter. And it's probably all going to get changed.
That's just, if they wanted to do that, they should have said that time is impossible to explain, and we'll leave it at that.
No, I think it's a pretty decent explanation.
But if you...
It's a pretty decent explanation. You have the timekeepers doing it on one end, you have the TV doing it on another end, but they didn't create time.
That's
and
fine.
at any point, they could just lose and fail, and their whole work could collapse.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's the structure of the people. What I'm saying is, like, they've explained how time moves for them in that they have to jump into it in real time, right? So then time is moving forward. Wherever they are, they're not outside of time. They have to... Or maybe they are.
I think
maybe they are.
I think when they referred to real time,
you know?
again, I think it's timekeeper shit. When they referred to real time, they were referring to the real time experience of the audience in the moment.
The timekeeper's version.
They were breaking the fourth wall by saying real time. They were saying our real time, our experiencing of the sequence of events as the viewer.
The inconsistency.
That's real time. No, it's not an inconsistency. I think it was a deliberate choice to call it real time, and they're talking about our real time, our experience of the thing.
Oh, if we are the time. If we are
essentially, yes. Well, yes. If they're calling us the timekeepers, people trying to, and I honestly can't. I can't argue with them in large part that some parts of the fan bases are like very, very hardcore in how they try to maintain a certain rigid structure of a character. And many times it's only the way they like the character, considering a lot of these characters have 100 years at this point of comic book history. Some of these characters do. If we're talking about Batman or Superman or something, that's about 100 years of comic history of many different versions of these characters. Now, I'm not one for making a black Superman. There's many different black Supermen.
There are many. There's
like, if you make one, don't call him Kal-El. That's my opinion on it. If you make Ariel, if you're making the Little Mermaid and you want her to be black, it's okay. Make the Little Mermaid 2, or make the Little Mermaid's sister.
Or just
that's
make
my opinion on
another
it.
mermaid story. Screw it.
That's the way I look at it. But when it comes to comic book lore, especially Marvel lore, there is such a flex with some of these characters and how their personalities are.
Yeah.
Most people only know the modern interpretations because, truthfully, most people aren't going to go back and read old comics just because they're intimidated by the way the art looks. The art was less stylized just in, like, the 80s, People don't want to read less stylized comics, I think. Yeah. At least nowadays. They're on the train now, and Loki starts enjoying himself. Because... I don't know, he's like kind of free. He's free of the TVA, he's free of expectations. Starts getting drunk, hamming it up in the room. Loki tries to pull him back, because the whole thing is that they got to stay focused. If they start using their powers or letting them know that they're out of place, the TVA pops in an instant. They just show up as soon as a discrepancy happens.
I honestly just didn't enjoy this whole section. I just didn't. It was...
Keep in mind, I want everyone to know we're about 30 minutes into the goddamn show. Yeah. Nothing has really happened of
Nothing
consequence.
is all has happened.
Yeah.
They've gone from set piece to set piece while slow shuffling forward.
Yes, this is when something happens. So Loki gets a little too rowdy.
He gets a little drunk.
And something happens. The guys who checked their tickets earlier come to check their tickets.
That guy shouldn't be here.
Yeah, so they get in a fight. With normal humans, with normal ass security guard humans,
and they don't crush them on accident. The humans don't break their hands on them. Nothing that you would expect from an Asgardian with the strength, theoretically, capable of holding a fucking star's power.
Two characters
from Thor.
Two characters that are essentially lesser Thors engage in a fisticuffs battle with 4 security guards, and it goes on for about 2.5 minutes.
Yeah, it lasts
until they have to bail from the train
because
they're getting overwhelmed.
One of the humans throws one of them out of a window. No.
Yeah.
No.
Our Asgardian lord gets flung from a fucking window.
So how is Loki able to...
And then Fem Loki, or one of who I forget which one. I think Loki gets flung, or Fem... No, yeah, Loki gets flung from the window.
And female
Fem Loki follows, because Loki falls on the machine and breaks it. Yes.
Yeah. Oh, also, I want to... The whole time, Loki is just a complete failure. Every decision he makes is absolute failure, and she just chides him and bitches at him. And it's just like, the infantilization of this man should not continue. He is not an ignorant cuck. He's a useful portion of this team of 2 because there is no villain in this story.
No, not yet. The villain is the Timekeepers.
Oh yeah, for sure. Those guys.
I just wanted to say that it's going to be pretty hard for Marvel to sell Shang-Chi if every single fight that everyone engages in is a fucking kung fu masterpiece. Because apparently everybody knows kung fu. Loki knows kung fu.
Yeah.
Femthor knows kung fu. The human security guards know kung fu.
The human
Who
rioters
does not know kung fu in the Marvel universe?
There's a scene during like the riot stuff near the end, which comes. We'll get to it.
No, we're already there.
Oh, we're
because
there,
because
are we?
all that happens from this point is they get off the train, the machine's busted. Their last chance of getting out is the human arc that never makes it off the planet. That's the apocalypse story of this.
Yeah.
Nothing ever makes it off the planet.
And then we get to the.
So they get there.
Yeah.
They end up there. A riot happens. And spoiler, the thing just gets blown up. It was never supposed to make it off the planet. They had no chance of getting there.
Right? So, like, during this riot scene, I spot 2 or 3 sets of 2 people throwing full-on hurricane kicks and, like, Wing Chun freaking super attacks, and a dude is, like, doing the freaking the arm capture break and flipping motherfucker. It's madness. And these are random human rioters of low cost and low means on a purple dirt planet, right? And they just all have karate, even though for all of their lives they've been subsistence farming and eking out measurement on this new terraformed planet or whatever the hell it seems to be. They all know karate or kung fu or can throw a kick from like 8 feet away and break your face. Madness.
So yeah, essentially the show ends with them just getting stuck on the planet. But Sylvie makes a big twist reveal that isn't really a twist. I think we all suspected it, that the TVA, everyone in the TVA is just variants. Yeah. They're all variants that they've pulled from time. And I think we all kind of knew that. That's what we felt was going to, like what Owen was trying to do with Loki anyway. He was trying to train him to be TVA. Right. It just kind of falls naturally. So it wasn't really much of a twist.
Right. I mean, where are you gonna get your infinite force from infinite mistakes?
Yeah, this final scene actually was kind of striking, and this is where I'll talk about the Koof filming, because everything before this scene must have been filmed during the pandemic, because there's only ever 2, 3, maybe 4 people in a scene. If there's 6 people, they are all 8 feet from each other, like on the train scene. But in this final scene, you had people falling over each other, crowds. You know, people doing fucking karate kicks.
Absolute madness.
It was kind of stupid, but it did actually feel like, for once, it felt like a piece of cinema for a second. Yeah. It had been so long since we had seen anything newly produced.
Okay, yeah.
Like this. I guess I got to give it that, but it was probably filmed. It was probably filmed one of the first things before the pandemic even happened. Or it's one of the last things they filmed here in 2021.
Yeah, I think
either or.
I'd like to make a side note. I think that this series, right? They had in their head, and I said it last time, I believe, that it was going to be a movie, and they had to turn it into a TV show, and I feel like because of that, that's why we're getting these weird dips in speed of action, speed of prose, and why we also have the jumbled feeling of Loki himself, because he's cool, calm, collected half the time. The lighting on him when he's cool, calm, collected is very movie-like, and when he's not cool, calm, and collected, he's not very. It feels different. It feels like they had one project and they had to turn it into something else, and they did their best. And damn man, they did service to a good deal of things. My only problem is they fell short on things that I feel are classic. And that's an opinion, but some things for me, like if you get a cheesecake and the cheesecake doesn't have like a cream cheese filling, that ain't no cheesecake. That's an imitation cheesecake.
Well, I guess this is where we differ, because I'm trying very hard to judge the show on its own merits. Yeah. Because I know it's trying to subvert many things and it's trying to change many things, and I feel like it shortchanges my own experience of the show to hold it to like the standards of some other show. I'm not going into the show expecting certain things.
That's fair.
I'm just going into the show trying to judge what they've accomplished here. If they're achieving their goals, and two, if it's actually worth watching from a cinematic perspective. Like, is it cinematographically important? And honestly, so far, I can't really say that it is. I can't really say that I've gotten anything like grander from it. And to be honest, moving into predictions, I feel like the show has kind of subverted a couple of my predictions. I really don't know where it's going to go. I think it might just be pretty simplistic, where Sylvie and Loki mess up the timekeepers, and then maybe Owen tries to bring Loki back, and in that moment of good, Loki reorganizes the universe mostly as it was. That's my prediction, I guess. I don't know if Sylvie will be a Loki impersonator. It feels like they're pretty goddamn committed to just making her a female Loki for no particular reason. Maybe that's why her universe got split. She came out a girl. I don't know. That would probably be an appropriate way to just like make the bureaucracy seem like a bigger piece of shit. Just make it that they punished her for being a woman.
Yeah, that would make sense. That would make sense. I could see that. She's supposed to be a dude. If she's not a dude, she won't have various problems. It won't work out. Timeline, cut it down, burn it all to the ground.
Yeah, it's another way that they can kind of impose contemporary politic on this show. So I kind of see that happening.
I got a prediction. If she is a Loki, she was saved by Mobius to survive, because Mobius is just the only guy that gives a shit about anything in the TVA. He literally let her live. And now it's his problem again, because it's going to turn out that the story is about Mobius. Never about Loki in any way. It's always been about Mobius. That's my thought.
Nah, I don't believe that just because Owen Wilson is too expensive. The reason he wasn't in this episode is because he's too expensive, man. I don't believe that because Owen Wilson costs a lot.
No, he's gonna
they're not gonna make him the main character because he costs too much. It's about Loki because Loki does not cost as much.
At the end of this series, he's gonna sacrifice himself for the greater good, proving to the rest of the TVA that they too can make a difference, even though they're.
Well, no, I believe in that. No, I think what Owen Wilson is gonna do is he's gonna sacrifice himself to protect Loki from the TVA, so that Loki can change the timeline. And seeing Owen's sacrifice, he's gonna change it more towards Owen's way rather than Sylvie's way, because it's essentially going to be a choice. Does he want to follow his own nature, or does he want to evolve? And that will be his final decision.
That's good.
In some way, shape, or form.
That would be good. I have no faith, but that would be very, very good.
All right, well, I don't want to get too deep into it because next week is probably going to subvert my predictions once again. So I hope y'all enjoyed. Y'all take care, and make sure you like and subscribe if you enjoyed this. There's another one coming out next week. You want to say goodbye?
Yeah. Warren Hate.
All right, peace and love. Y'all take care.